Hello and welcome to the video. This is a video on something a little bit different, but occasionally I get stuff in that isn't directly related to the radio control hobby, which is what this channel is kind of all about. And it impresses me so much that I thought, you know what, I need to kind of share this. As the nights are drawing in here in the UK, we're definitely well into autumn. The mornings are getting darker, the days are getting less bright. You know, I'm having to use illumination on the recording equipment. But for me, when I first moved into this room, I managed to get enough room in this new space that I've got here inside the house to actually have a dedicated build table. And you've seen it in loads of different things. This is kind of what it always looks like. And usually there's one of my laptops running at the end with some kind of iNav or Betaflight or Arduino plane or something else set up running. Now, when I first moved in, I wanted a nice bright LED lamp to give a nice diffused illumination for the entire thing. Ideally, a light also that I could keep nice and high if I wanted to do some filming, but also be able to kind of pull it down so it would be close to the work. There are lots of things that I do here that require a lot amount of concentration and a lot of finesse. So whether it's something like vinyl cutting or weeding or soldering or cutting a channel into foam for a particular wire in a build, or it could be, in my wife's case, doing embroidery or sewing or vinyl cutting as well with her, you need a really good light. Now, when I was looking around originally, I found these things on Amazon, I think it was. I originally bought one of them, LED strip lamp, and got it, plugged it in, tried it. It's not a bad lamp, but you know what? It's nowhere near bright enough. This neck actually doesn't come out anywhere near as long as I want to actually get it over the work. And I ended up having to buy another one because it just wasn't bright enough. And that's how I have run the desk since then. And you'll seen it in lots of videos. Those two lamps are at the back, usually kind of trying to push them out the way of the camera, and you find that the illumination when you're working on the bench is good at the back where the lamps are, but they don't give really good diffuse light at the front. So I was finding that in lots of times I was struggling to see exactly what I was trying to do when I had the piece right in front of me at the front of the desk, and I was having to reach for things like LED torches. The one I tend to go for is that red thing there, a mag light hanging on the side of that little 3D printer, and I'd have to try and hold that while I was either soldering, cutting, weeding, whatever it was on the particular piece of project that I needed. Now, I've had this BenQ lamp in now for a couple of weeks and incredibly impressed with it. I should have got one of these in the beginning, and if you have a hobby that you love, maybe it's drawing or painting figures, radio control, soldering, electronics, whatever it is, this is a really nice lamp. And if I'd have known this thing existed, I'd have just got one of these and saved myself the last 18 months trying to make those other two light sources work. First of all, let's talk about how it comes. The box is absolutely massive and weighs a ton. When I ordered this, I did not expect it to be this big, but I thought, you know what, this looks like it's going to be an event. I'll actually record the unboxing, and this is what it looks like. Everything in here is very, very high quality. This is an expensive lamp. You would certainly hope it would be, but it was a pleasure to find it so well put together. I managed to open mine upside down and flip it around. The base weighs a ton, which is great. It means that you can extend the lamp over your work area and the base stays nice and solid. And then the actual lamp itself, as you can see, has this really unusual curved design, and that means the light that comes off it comes off in a really wide cone, even though it's an LED lamp. And it's not just one or two rows of LEDs in here, there are multiple rows, and those rows have lots of kind of lenses in front of them, and the light itself is a really nice diffused light. There's only one little screw that you need to do up, and there's a grub screw at the bottom of the main arm itself, and there is a supplied Allen wrench that you can just nip that up, just to make sure that if you try and move the arm and you pull it too hard and the bench tips over, it doesn't slip off the peg. Because you definitely don't want to drop the base on something like your foot, as in the little graphics, because it would really hurt and potentially even break something. It is that heavy, but it's nice that that quality is there, and it also provides a really stable base to move the light around. Now I've positioned it on my bench and replaced those two original lights. Let me just give you an idea of the differences before with those two original lights at the back and after with this new BenQ e-reading lamp. The difference, pun intended, is it is night and day. In terms of actually being able to see exactly what I'm doing with a piece of work, I can pull it down and get a really good level of illumination, and if I don't want it really close to the work, I can push it up out of the way, and that's perfect for doing video stuff too. To turn it on and off is really simple and straightforward. You touch the metal ring at the back. A simple single touch will turn it on and off, and it fades in nicely. The rotating control is very handy for both setting the colour of the light. I don't like it too blue. I'm a bit old-fashioned. I like it on the slightly warmer side. I find it less strainful on the eyes. And then you can also change the brightness and intensity. The other thing you can do is by holding that metal ring that turns it on for 2 seconds, it can put it into two specific specialized modes. One's for reading and the other one is for screen use, which is very handy when you're using it with the laptop over long periods of time. Now this is a lamp that you're going to see in lots of videos over the coming months. I'm starting to record some iNav setup pieces, and you'll notice hopefully in the videos in the coming months that suddenly the illumination looks a lot brighter and a lot more conform over the work area that I've got. In the playing that I've been doing, it's been great to be able to not only have that illumination that kind of comes from that curved surface, which is a really smart idea, but being able, when I'm struggling to see exactly what I'm trying to solder this little wire onto, maybe it's a wire from a motor onto a Maytech flight controller, I can just grab hold of it, pull it down over the workpiece, and I can see exactly what I'm looking at. Those kind of things are what I really was after when I first ordered those original LED lamps, and I'm so glad I've managed to find one that actually works for me. I would have been using this back in the days where I used to paint miniatures and all kinds of stuff. It's just a really nice lamp that works incredibly well. As I said at the beginning, this isn't a cheap lamp at all. You probably spotted that already, but this is the kind of thing that you buy that you're going to have for 20-30 years. Unfortunately, I've managed to find a place for one of these in another part of the house, but this one we don't need. It's kind of going to go in the bin, and that's a bit of a shame. I would have loved to have spotted, maybe it's because this is a relatively new lamp, but I would have loved to have just got one of these in the first instance and then not had all the struggles that I had trying to get enough light, not only for the filming and stuff, things like YouTube, but actually just having a good light to be able to make it easy to work on the bench irrespective of what the sunshine is doing outside. So this lamp is probably going to appear again in my festive present ideas. That's a video that I tend to do at the beginning of December. I've already started writing things down that impress me. This definitely is on the list. Probably going to end up having to order another one because Mrs. Painless 360, who does all of the craft stuff in her own area, has seen it and really likes it. So if they bring out one with a pink finish, that might become a Christmas present for her. Let's hope she doesn't see this video. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. Occasionally, like I said at the beginning, I do get things in that I just find work incredibly well. Unfortunately, they're not always cheap things, but this thing is going to be an investment. It's going to be something that will be on that table probably until I eventually move out of this room into somewhere else on the world. So again, links down below if you're interested to the Amazon's things that I got it from, and stay tuned. There's going to be lots of iNav videos that I'm currently shooting under this BenQ e-reader lamp. Thank you for spending your time today watching that video. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you're trying to learn about a subject, then check out the playlist. All of my videos are organized into easy to follow playlists that if you're trying to learn a topic will take you from the basics right the way through to some pretty advanced stuff.